All right, so first and foremost, so everything for your profile for Moxi feeds from CB Desk. So always just want to talk about and reiterate this. So make sure your profile on CB Desk is updated properly. This is where you would input your social media and all of that stuff as well. So if you try to do it in Moxi, you're going to be like, why can't I type anything? Because you have to do it through CB Desk. So profile from CB Desk feeds out to everything. What's up, Bobby D?
Nothing. I was just not paying attention at the beginning.
You weren't paying attention at the beginning? Amazing. Hey, how are you? All right, so Moxi, yep. So we're doing Moxi. So obviously this is through the Moxi Works tab here on CB Desk. So you click into that and then you will see this interface. Well, you actually will not see that interface. You'll have to, it'll go to your home and then you just hit engage up top here and that will bring you to the CRM portion. So I think that there are a fair amount of people that literally just move their contacts over from InTouch and that's where we're at. So we're going to kind of start from that basic and move into setting up some campaigns and things like that. So there is, yeah. No, so we're just getting started. So, yep, we're just getting started. So if you imported your contacts and also if you have this, you two need to be split up. Sorry, everybody online. Bobby D and Jenna are a nuisance in class. Anyway, so there's some legwork that goes into this. So once you pull your contacts in, every single person needs to be designated as to what they are, if they're a client, if they're not a client, and basically the way to do that. So I'm going to show you all the action items that you need to do. So this is probably going to look a little overwhelming, but if you go into people and then hit my people, if you come over here to filters, then you can pull up this action needed tab here, right? So it's going to tell you how many new contacts you have, how many uncategorized contacts you have, missing phone numbers, missing email addresses. This is obviously an email platform. So if your email addresses are missing, you're not going to be able to send them anything. And then missing home addresses as well. If there's anything else that will show up here. And you can also see all of your groups and such on the side here. So there's obviously a lot that needs to be done. And the way you do that is literally just clicking down through your people. So for instance, I have categorized some of mine. We'll just click on this person here. And so another side note, since this is linked to either, some people linked it to their Exchange email, some people linked it to a Gmail account. Every time somebody new goes into your contacts in those systems, it then pulls into Moxi Engage. Yes, Bobby D.
So how do you connect it to?
You would have done that when you first started. When you first set up Moxi Engage, it would have asked which email platform you wanted to link it to. Okay, so oftentimes you will find that there are other agents in there because if you're communicating with them on a deal or something like that, they're going to be listed in your contacts. You can just throw them into a industry professionals group and go from there. But so if you click on a contact that's not categorized, and again, you have to do this for every single one of your contacts that are in the system. So this person, you click on them, you choose if they're a client or a non-client, right? So if you hit client, you can either start creating a marketing plan, make a seller prospect, or make a buyer prospect, right? So they have a house, they're not ready to sell right now, but they're saying that it might be in the near future. Make them a seller prospect. This person might want to buy a house. You're going to make them a buyer prospect. And then it'll list all of their information down here. And if you want to edit any of this information, so you can edit anything that's here. I know that, I don't remember what training it was, but somebody was talking about dates. So if it's a past client, you can add their anniversary date here, house anniversary, right? So you want to make sure you're reaching out to your past clients on their house anniversary. It's just kind of a cool thing. Hey, you've been in the house a year, you've been in the house 2 years. And if you took my closer club this last round, Jimmy actually came in and talked about how he calls his people on their birthdays. And it's kind of a cool thing. My realtor called me on my birthday, wish me a happy birthday. It's just a touch that's not terribly invasive, but you are making that contact and you have a reason to call them as opposed to just, hey, you know anybody looking to buy or sell, right? Because that's going to be a quick conversation. And if you talk to somebody long enough about non-real estate things, they're going to ask you about the real estate market. That's just how it works. So you don't even have to bring that topic up. So add those dates if you have them. If they have social media, you can add them in here as well. And you can designate them as a collaborator. So for instance, you know, if you wanted to put Greta or GRA or that is GRA or Guardian Transfer in as a collaborator, that would be something you could dictate here as well. You can mark them as past seller, past buyer. Once you're done editing, you can hit done if you've added any information, and then that'll automatically save. So if they are not a contact, you're like, I don't really know who this person is, or if it's just a personal contact, you should still be using your Sphere, JP.
How did you get to your contacts? I'm sorry. I
No.
went through Desk, I went through Moxi Work.
Yep. So up top in this blue,
Yeah.
like here, hit engage.
We couldn't just put contacts there.
Well, engage is the CRM portion. So present is there's different stuff up here for Moxi. But yeah, so engage and then people and then my people. Cool. Bobby D.
So I was doing and whatever, said something about their past buyer or past seller. What
Yep.
do you do that?
So since I hit non-client here, let me just go back.
Well,
So here, when you're editing the person, so if you hit client,
hold on a second, let me get that.
Yep.
What do I say? Client? Hit
Yep.
client?
So hit client.
Yeah.
And then if you hit edit here by their information.
Yeah.
And you scroll all the way to the bottom, it says
Oh,
mark it as past seller, past buyer.
So what does that do for, I mean, obviously I know what it's, but does it group those people? Is it like?
Well, so that's not technically grouping. Yeah. Oh, so you haven't set yours up yet. Okay. So yeah, we'll have to get you set up with marketing, or you and I can sit down separately. No, that's okay. So this isn't putting them in a group. It's just designating them in a different way. I know that sounds a little silly, but the group portion. So if you are looking here, over here is where you're going to add them to specific groups.
So that just, in case you forgot 3 years ago, that
Mhm.
she was the buyer or seller.
Sure. Right. Yep. And so once you, I truthfully do not know who
Danielle, can I ask a question quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, when you're marking them as past seller or past buyer, does it give you the option to mark more than one? Or you're only allowed to mark one?
Meaning contacts at the same time.
Oh, no, you can do both. I just did it.
Oh, or you mean what Bobby's saying, that they were a buyer and a seller.
Correct.
Yeah, you can mark both.
Thank you.
Yep. I don't know why I'm looking at the TV like you're in there, but
I'm
yeah, so-
watching you.
Right, I know. So you can also on this side, so you can add them to subscriptions. You can add them to groups, and you can put them on campaigns. So we're gonna get into that as well. Bobby D.
So I just made a change to a person.
Uh-huh.
I noticed this yesterday because I was. in
Okay.
there, And this is the message that came up. I have no idea.
So you might have made a change that is a conflict with how your contact is saved in your email platform. Does that make sense?
Yeah. it
Because
makes
that's
sense,
what
but-
it's saying. So in this system, you want to keep whatever you updated.
Uses version.
Mhm.
I'll
Yeah.
get to the email thing maybe later. 'Cause,
Yeah. No, so look, guys, there is so much in this system that I understand that it can become super overwhelming. The goal of today is literally just to go over how to categorize the people that you have in your CRM and then how to set them up on some campaigns. That way you're at least staying in contact with them in that regard. and even potentially looking at grouping people as well. So you don't have to put everybody in the same group in their contacts. You can actually like click on people and do multiple at the same time. Or if you have like, if you do like online leads of some sort and you have no idea where they came from, who they are, their invalid addresses, you can come in and click multiple here and then just hit remove, and it'll give you the option to delete them altogether. If you have an email, I suggest just putting them on an email campaign, right? You never know what's the worst that can happen. But you could categorize them as like unknown leads or something like that. I do. So this is the main one you're going to go to when you hit people and then my people. So if you're here, anywhere on, whoop, I don't know what I just did there. Clicking buttons too fast. I'm gonna start throwing stuff at the two of you. All right, we'll wait for this to load again. Well, I can do it from here too. So from any screen, you're still gonna have this white bar here, people, my people, and it's gonna give you a list of all of your people. Okay, so we went through how to designate people. So if you wanna look at groups, so these are the groups that, if you had groups in InTouch, they migrated over from InTouch. But what I've noticed is that not all of the contacts necessarily stayed in the categories that they were in. So just be aware of that. There, like I said, there is a lot of legwork that goes into this. Blue category, I don't even know what that is, green category. But you can add separate categories. So for instance, if you do listing concierge and you do the social, you get those social media leads, you can actually create a group for each listing and import those leads into that group specifically. That way, you know that they were looking for a house in whatever price range your listing was in. You can delete from here as well. And you can also filter your contacts. So if you're like, well, I want to see who my home spotter leads are, you can come in here and filter them like this. Nope, because I'm sharing my screen. And then this will just bring up those however many people that you have in there. If I was like, oh, I want my home spotter leads to be added to a specific group, you can do that here. You can add them in multiples as past seller, past buyer, personal or collaborator. You can add them specifically to a campaign from here as well. Any questions on that so far?
So have you used the categorize wizard?
I have not. You want to do it and see what happens?
Yeah, it seems like it might
Okay.
be useful. Seeing as how this seems like a little bit more of a, you know, let's do what needs to be done.
Labor intensive?
Well, no, I mean, just,
Yeah, so you can do it this way, right? So non-client, personal, there you go. You can do it this way as well. If you're going to be adding people to certain things, you only get so far here though. So, I mean, you're at least categorizing them, yes. This was a client.
okay, I thought that it might just
Oh,
take a whole,
put people into categories?
like, say, here's a whole, everybody without an email address. I thought it might.
Sure. Well, so you can filter that out through your search though. So if you go back to my people, you click on filters.
Oh.
And then missing email addresses, it'll just give you those two people that it's missing. And then you hit that. Obviously, Emily is a agent in our office, and this is a roller derby person that somehow made its way into here. But so those are the two people that don't have email addresses. So you could either then reach out to them to get their email addresses, or if you have no idea who they are or where they came from, you could potentially delete them from here. Select, remove. We'll go to campaigns. So campaigns are a little different in here. And I think that I've had many people reach out and say, well, I added campaigns, but they didn't put the people in the campaigns or wait for the people to load to the campaigns. And so then nothing was actually happening, right? So holiday is one that a lot of people do. But if you go up here, add from library, that's going to give you all of the campaigns that are loaded into the back end of the system. And from here, you have to then add them into your platform. You good, Bobby?
Oh, no, I'm just surprised at how many there.
Yeah, no, there's a ton, and you can preview them before you add them as well. So holiday, CB National, right? You hit the preview. Well, because that one. Okay, well, we'll try a different one. Oh, that was 2022. That's why. So add from library. We'll go homeowner home improvement tips. There we go. So this is going to also give you the dates when it goes out and the content of the actual email as well. So we're going to go ahead here and add that to campaigns. And then you'll get this green box here that says that it was done. So I don't know if it's because of all the information in here, but there does seem to be a little bit of a lag. So just be patient, because I see a lot of people click out of things and then they're like, why didn't that work? Well, it's because the system wasn't working as quickly as you were, right? So once it's here under campaigns, you're then going to click on the title of the campaign. It's going to open it up for you. Recipients up here, you're going to hit setup. Then you're going to hit add recipients. And this is going to give you all of your people and all of your groups. So you can either select individual people or you can select groups. For some reason, all current contacts is not in the people section, but that would then add it to every single person that you have in your CRM. So you hit add here, and then you're going to hit save. And then you're going to, well, you can't see it because adding recipients, please check back, right? So this is where people tend to get stuck and they think that it's set up and it's not set up. You have to wait until this lights up blue up here and hit run campaign. So you hit run campaign and then it's ready to go. You can also finish later. So if you want to get some added in there, you're not sure exactly what you want to do, who you want to send them to, you can get it started and put it in here as well.
So I don't sound stupid, I probably will.
No, ask the questions. I think that a lot of people are overwhelmed by this system.
Email.
These are just email campaigns, correct? So this is not postcards. This is not
There's no
print.
print anything in here.
Not in
Just-
Engage specifically.
Okay.
So present is our like presentations, and there is also print marketing in there.
Oh, is
Impress,
there? Okay.
Impress is also that is more print marketing. I was just trying to stick to
No, no, no.
Engage for
interesting.
today.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah.
didn't- Okay, so there are some
Yes.
print things you can do. in
Mhm.
Press and where else?
Well, so present is more like list. So if you're using Listing Concierge, it has the different marketing materials for those different
Well, it
levels.
also has CRM. Not CRM.
No,
CMA.
yeah, so that's linked to Bright, so you can pull comps and stuff through there as well. No, you're good. So once that's running, or once you set that up, that's going to be in here. This will give you opens and click rate and stuff like that. So 24% open rate is actually pretty good. I did get 230 people unsubscribed though. So yeah, it is what it is. That's okay. I mean, but that's a pretty good open rate. And these were previous ones that I just see. I never set this one up. That was from like when we first started this system. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna throw that one in there. And I never set that one up. So if it's running, it's always literally going to say running under that specific campaign, running. And you're always going to have the data that goes along with it. And up here at the top, it'll show you all campaigns awaiting setup, how many are running. You can pause them. And if you've archived any that you don't want, that's there as well.
Question, Diana.
Yeah.
How many times does it go out?
So it depends on the campaign. So this, the one that I just set up for the home improvement tips, I think there were 4. So, and if you hit view emails, it'll tell you the number, or it'll show you the different ones, and then it'll tell you the date it's going to go out. So that one I just added, today is going to be the first one. There's going to be one in April, one in July, and then one in October. This holiday one here, if you click on that, it's gonna, oh, that was the, I think that's the 2022. Yep. So there's one that goes out on Monday for MLK Day, Black History Month. It's going to go out February 1st, Valentine's Day. These are, there's a lot of holidays, and you can edit that and remove some if you don't want all of them in there, right? So this one here, so in March, they're going to get 4. They're going to get one March 1st for Women's History Month, one on March 11th for Daylight Savings, St. Patrick's Day, and then Hello Spring. And then they're going to get another one on April 1. So just be conscious of how many times you're emailing people too. Like, you should have campaigns set up, but if you're emailing somebody every other day or every day, or even once a week, I think once a week is probably the most I would suggest. And even then, I think you're going to get a higher unsubscribe rate, because people are just going to be like, why do you keep sending me stuff, right? It's different if it's like a client that's, 3-6 months out. But if it's somebody that you're just kind of incubating right now, or if they're a past client, that's a lot, more than once a week for sure. All right.
And how do you delete specific ones? If you don't want all 4 going out in March, how would you delete 1 or 2?
Yep, let me get back up here. So if you click on the heading again, so holiday, and then let it load. Oh, I keep clicking on the 2022. My apologies. Let me get back to the other one. So this is the Holiday CB National campaign. Okay, so if you want to if you go in here and hit edit schedule, so I'll be emailed again, blah, blah, blah. Okay, confirm. So then you just come over here and remove whichever ones you don't want to go out. And it's pretty simple. I always like daylight savings time. It's just a good one. Yeah, Bobby.
So. there's
Thank
also
you.
the other
You're
thing
welcome, Kristen.
What's called Prospect Square.
Yeah.
And
So Prospect
So
Square is the
you're-
second Tuesday of every month. That's the one email that goes out. If you have them set up on newsletters through Prospect Square, which I do think those newsletters are probably better through there than they are through here. That would be 2, right?
So there's no conflict between what's coming out from there.
They're completely separate programs.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. But if you have somebody set up on like a newsletter from there, you probably don't want to put them on like a newsletter campaign from here as well, right? That's
Yeah.
duplicate but different information. All right. So just some basics. Those were the things that I kind of just wanted to go over. Like I said, these are the main things that you need to do just to start staying in contact with the contacts that you have, right? So designating them as clients or non-clients, grouping them, and setting them up on campaigns. Once you get that done, there are some other things in here that you can then dive into. So, there are some e-blasts, neighborhood news is something that you can do as well. Listing announcements. So if you have listings, you can send announcements out through here. And then this also logs emails that you are sending out through this platform as well. JP, did you have a question?
I was just gonna say, I signed myself up for the neighborhood news one,
Uh-huh.
and I think I signed myself up for the 17050 zip code, and then there's some times where it's like, we've got nothing for you.
Yes.
Ugh.
So I've seen that as well. But I mean, is it coming out to you weekly?
Things like that.
Okay. Yeah, it shouldn't
which
be,
monthly is.
yeah.
I went into my campaign and I looked at it, and it says there's one, then on, I can see,
Yeah, I think I have myself set up too.
December.
You can also search for your people in here too as well, guys. So like what I'm doing here. So I have myself in here 3 times. It's fantastic. So I have a neighborhood news as well that's set up.
I thought it was gonna be really cool, when it has data in it, it's cool.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So this looks like it's, yeah, it is monthly. But you're right. So I did see one come out for myself as well that was not
I was like,
Um,
"Ooh, that doesn't, like, no, something.
right. Yeah. So I don't know if that's maybe hold off on that then. I don't know if that's like a glitch in the system or something like that because
Do I edit that campaign?
so go into the contact, so yourself that it's set up as, and then you're gonna click on the neighborhood. You might have to,
See if I set it up wrong.
you might have to
Like,
unsubscribe from it. Oh, no, remove, yeah.
'cause I think I may have only done like a certain price range.
That could be too.
That-
Yeah. But yeah, so if you have people that are coming in here looking at properties as well, and they're designated, like in your CRM, like from your website, because these are linked, if they favorite and save, properties from your website, it'll show up here as well. I obviously haven't designated myself as a client or not. All right, so those are the basics. Does anybody have any other questions, thoughts? Bobby?
So under the campaigns tab,
Uh-huh.
there's my campaigns, do blast, neighborhood news,
Mm-hmm,
listing announcements.
uh-huh.
Are we talking about any of those?
No, it's just too much. This program is overwhelming, and I think that that's why a lot of people have put their contacts in and not really done much with it, or set up like one campaign. So really, so if you get in here and go to your dashboard, the idea of this is constant contact, right? So this stay in flow is you should be reaching out to people every single day, right? So I skip this person. I'm just we'll mark that done. And then, so when you reach out to people, you can log the activity that you're doing as well. So yes, these email campaigns are great, but the idea long-term is that you're actually staying in real contact, not just the email every week or every other week. So that's probably the next step of, hey, utilize your CRM for all it's worth and reach out to these people, have a phone conversation, write them an email that isn't a campaign, right? Like, hey, was thinking about you, just wanted to touch base. And then just so many a day. Same flow, to-do list. And this has tons of other stuff in it too, but small bits at a time, because otherwise it gets overwhelming. I'm gonna check the chat.
I do
quick.
have another question, Danielle.
Yeah, what's up?
Do our contacts within Moxie cross over with our contacts in Prospect Square? I heard you say they're totally 2 different engines, so
Right.
are
They do
they
not.
crossed or they are not?
No, they do not. So the idea of Prospect Square is that it's real live people that you've had contact with, because we're doing the giveaways and things like that. I don't know if you remember that cruise giveaway, but somebody random won, and it wasn't a past client. It wasn't somebody that anybody knew, but we did end up tracing it back. It was like a friend of a past client of somebody. So you shouldn't necessarily be putting every single lead you have into Prospect Square. You should be putting them into Moxi, but not Prospect Square. So to my knowledge, they're never going to link back and forth. So when you put one in one system, it goes to the other. That's not the plan from what I know.
Thank you. And you said that you prefer or feel the newsletters in Prospect Square are whatever,
Yeah.
better information than in here. Is there a way to take the newsletters or copy and paste the newsletters that are in Prospect Square and create a campaign over in Moxi to get that information to the Moxi clients or the
Sure.
Moxi contacts.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah, so technically, yes, you can actually create campaigns from scratch in Moxi if you wanted to. So if you wanted to take the content from Prospect Square and pull it over into Moxi, you could. You would just, it would be legwork for you to create the campaign and set the dates and the timeline and all of that stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Cool. Anybody have anything else? Feel free if you're online to pull yourself off of mute. I don't have the chat up because I'm sharing my screen. But I try to keep these short and sweet and to the point as much as possible. But like I said, I am recording this, so if you want to go back and watch the step-by-step, you can definitely do that. There are also some tools here as well. So if you want just a quick demo, you click on this little icon over here. You can get a demo. If you click on the little cog, that's engage settings. I said cog. Does everybody else know what a cog is? I said that the other day and everybody was like, what are you talking about? The gear? Okay, cool. Settings are in there. And then if you want to do anything, external links, things like that. But remember, your profile comes over from CB Desk. And if anybody wants to sit down for a one-on-one, we can definitely do that as well. Just reach out. Cool. Nobody has anything else? I appreciate you all for jumping on. I hope you have a good rest of your Thursday and good weekend. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks, Danielle.
You're welcome.
Now can I ask a question?
Thanks, Dee.